Hello, welcome to Story Time. Happy Friday. Today we'll be reading How I Became a Pirate and Where the Wild Things Are. How I Became a Pirate by Melinda Long and David Shannon. Pirates have green teeth when they have any teeth at all. I know about pirates because one day when I was at the beach building a sandcastle and minding my own business, a pirate ship sailed into view. I knew what it was because its flag had a skull and crossbones on it, because I could hear the pirates singing, "Hey ho, blow the man down." They were a little off key. I tried to tell Dad, but he was busy setting up the beach umbrella. I tried to tell Mom, but she was busy slathering my baby sister with sunblock. So I went back to my sandcastle, but I kept an eye on the pirates. By then they were rowing to shore. When they landed, the head pirate climbed out of the boat and yelled, "Ahoy there, matey! Be this the Spanish Main?" "No," I said. "This is North Beach." "Shiver me timbers," the pirate said. "We must have taken a wrong turn at Bora Bora." He walked around my sandcastle. He looked at the moat. Then he yelled back to his crew, "He's a digger, he is, and a good one to boot." "A good one to boot," the others agreed. "What be your name, matey?" the head pirate asked. "Jeremy Jacobs, sir," I told him. "Well, Jeremy Jacob," he said, "you're looking at Braid Beard and his crew. We've been needin' a digger like yourself. We've got a chest of treasury to bury." "Aye, treasure," the others shouted. "You're comin' with us," Braid Beard told me. I didn't think Mom and Dad would mind, as long as I got back in time for soccer practice the next day. That's how I became a pirate. As soon as we were on board, Braidbeard showed me the chest of gold and jewels. "Got to find a safe place for this here treasure. It's high time we're off," he announced. "We're off!" we all shouted, and then we set sail. There was plenty to do on board. The pirates taught me to sing sea shanties, the louder the better, and to say real pirate stuff like "landlubber" and "scurvy dog." By dinner time, I could speak pirate perfectly. I also learned pirate manners. Braidbeard pounded his fist on the table and yelled, "Down the hatch, me laddies! Down the hatch!" we all shouted. Braidbeard gulped his food and said, "Hand over the meat!" "The meat!" we all roared. Nobody told us to finish our spinach. There wasn't any. Or to chew up our carrots. They weren't allowed on board. We talked with our mouths full, and nobody said please or thank you. After dinner, I tried to teach the pirates to play soccer. Braidbeard kicked the ball and yelled, "Arg, soccer!" Arg, soccer! The crew yelled. Then everybody dove for the ball at once, and it rolled right off the deck. After it, me hearties, Braybeard commanded. After it, we all whispered. We fought over who would get the ball, but it didn't matter anyways, because a shark came along and swallowed it in one gulp. So much for soccer. By now it was past my bedtime, but nobody tells pirates to go to bed, to take a bath, or to brush their teeth. Maybe that's why their teeth are green. Pirates sleep with one eye open, just in case, and they don't change into pajamas unless they want to. Pirates don't do anything they don't want to, except for maybe swabbing the decks. I wanted to be a pirate forever. But then I found out what else they don't do. When I couldn't stay awake any longer, I asked Braidbeard to tuck me in and read me a story. Tuck you in, he bellowed. Pirates don't tuck. No tucking, the crew cried, and the only thing they had to read was a map. Don't you have any books? I asked. Braidbeard looked confused. Books? I didn't even bother to ask about goodnight kisses. It wasn't easy to fall asleep without a story, but I was finally dozing off when a storm broke. Thunder boomed and lightning flashed. I tried to hide under the covers as waves slammed up against the ship, but I kept falling out of my hammock. I couldn't find anyone in the cabin. They were all on deck. Lower the sails, Braidbeard shouted. Batten down the hatches. Everybody ran around yelling and lowering and battening. Nobody had time to sit close and tell me it would be over soon. Nobody even noticed me. I decided that I didn't want to be a pirate after all. Just then, flash, crash, crack! Lightning hit the mast and split it right down the middle. What do we do now? Yelled one of the pirates. We'll have to turn back, cried another. But the treasure, hollered Braidbeard. Where will we bury the treasure? I stepped forward. Maybe I can help, I shouted over the wind. I think I know the perfect digging spot. When the storm was over, we rowed back to shore and buried the chest. We drew a map so we could find the treasure again, but I don't think I'll need it. It's Jimmy Jones' backyard. After that, the pirates repaired the ship and got ready to sail. Before they left, Braidbeard handed me a flag and said, You make a fine pirate, Jamie Jacob. Guard that treasure well. We'll be back to get it soon enough. Soon enough, the crew repeated. And if you ever need us, Braidbeard added, just run the Jolly Roger up yonder pole. Up yonder pole, the others shouted. And maybe I will, but not today. I have soccer practice. Our next book is Where the Wild Things Are Pictures and Words by Marie Sandak. Where the Wild Things Are by Marie Sandak. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind, and another, his mother called to him, "Wild thing!" And Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he was sent to his bed without anything to eat. That very night, in Max's room, a forest grew and grew and grew until his ceiling hung with vines and the walls became the world all around. And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through the night and day. And in and out of weeks, and almost over a year, to where the wild things are. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars, and gnashed their terrible teeth, and rolled their terrible eyes, and showed their terrible claws. Till Max said, "Be still!" and tamed them with a magic trick of staring into all their yellow eyes without blinking once, and they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all. And made him king of all the wild things. "And now," cried Max, "let the wild rumpus start." "Now stop," Max said, and he sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all wild things, was lonely and wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Then all around, from far away, across the world, he smelled something good to eat. So he gave up being king of where the wild things are. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so." And Max said, "No." The wild things roared their terrible roars, and gnashed their terrible teeth, and rolled their terrible eyes, and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye. And he sailed back over a year, and in and out of weeks, and through a day. And into the night of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him. And it was still hot. The end. Thank you for joining me for story time. I'll see you next Friday. Bye.